Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Marketing Essential podcast. I'm Christelle, head of product marketing at Immersis, an SAP company. And today I have the pleasure to speak with Melissa Sargent, CMO of Litmus, about one of our favorite topics, email and personalization. Thank you, Melissa, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. And actually, talking about personalization, it can be seen as a big buzzword in the age of e-commerce, and that term is often used, overused, and sometimes misused. So I'd love to know from your point of view, when you refer to personalization, what does this mean to you within the context of the marketing mix?
Yeah, I think so. And an example. So we'll talk about an example here, and then I'll kind of break it down from a marketing perspective. So let's pretend that and you've just bought a new house in the Northeast. And before you go to move into your new home, you go to your local hardware store and you start to get, some stuff to get ready for your house. And then after you've closed on the house and you move in, and I'll get an email from the big box retailer, and they say, hey, we see that you bought a new home. Here's a coupon that you can go even in and customize to your needs. After you go, maybe you decide that you don't want to go back to the store. Maybe you go online and use your After that, you get another message from the retailer asking you how that experience was. How did you find everything? Did it arrive the way you wanted it to? And then because you're in the Northeast and you're like 2 weeks away from snow season starting, magically, you either get an SMS text message, or you get another email that says, hey, snow season's coming. You might want to go. We're having a snow. It might be a good time for you to come and make that purchase now. And here's another incentive for you to do so. And that's really, I think, the essence. It's understanding the customer journey, what that customer wants, and to them the moment that they want it. And so a few elements from a marketing perspective that we think about related to personalization are first and foremost customer journey, understanding what that path looks like and where they're doing their research, where they like to do that on, when they like to do that shopping. The other piece is understanding from a segmentation perspective. We pass the world of one-to-many communications, and we see in all kinds of research that consumers definitely want to work and understand the real me. So understanding those segments, who those customers are, what industries are, what they care about, what they know, what they do, is really, really important first step, so that you can start to go from one to many to maybe one to some, and then ultimately to that true one-to-one personalization. You need to look at the marketing channels as part of this, understanding that journey and segmenting their communications on email, SMS. Do they go on? Do they do shopping on social, paid social? Do they, engage with under that entire world? And when we talked about that example, it's such a simple thing that I think we've all done before, experienced, but behind that is 1,000 points of data that we have to collect, orchestrate, that we can get to that place of true one-to-one personalization. And then from a marketing mix perspective, it's really that entire spectrum. Every part can ultimately drive a better personalized experience. I saw some research from Formation AI, an AI and machine learning company, and they asked people, like, what are the top 3 things that really drive a positive experience with the brand? And they're like, your email, mobile notifications. And then they said the same question, what a bad experience drive you away from that brand? And guess what they said in the exact same order? The website, email, and those SMS notifications. Really telling us, we want you to know us, but you've only got one chance to get it wrong and lots of chances to get it right.
I really like what you said, and what really resonates with me is personalization is customer centric. And that segmentation piece, it's actually a job that businesses must do in terms of being more sophisticated about their personalization. So moving, as you said, from one to many to one to some to one to one. And as you mentioned, like using all of the channels, like as a customer, I want to receive the right product, the right offer at the right time on the right channel. And that is my expectation as a customer. But if we look at the efforts that marketers have been investing, so Gartner reported that 80% of marketers who have invested in personalization will abandon their efforts by 2025 due to the lack of return on investments, the perils of customer data management, or both. So can you tell us from your perspective, where are marketers currently falling short on personalization, and what roadblocks are they facing to get there?
Yeah, that number, I hadn't heard that statistic, but it doesn't surprise me at all. And the most simple of answers is, really hard. We're talking about, the first thing that I think we struggle with as marketers is around our data. Okay, is it complete? Is it accurate? And we're all very accustomed to receiving email communications with, our first in line table stakes today. But not surprisingly, some marketers will even struggle with that with their data. And it's a terrifying thing as a marketer email, and it's going to have incomplete information or the wrong information. So the first thing is really getting your and making sure that you have a process, an ongoing process to make sure that you're collecting the right data way to protect their privacy, that you're keeping it up to date, that it's accessible to you in terms of being just a bunch of zeros and ones. If you can't create insights from that, you don't have, you're going to fall short. So those are some of the key roadblocks, I think, that are really preventing marketers from moving forward. And when you think about what you do to get all of that information, figure out what a single consumer cares about and deliver the experience they expect, it becomes a very unmanageable math problem very, very quickly. And a lot of marketers try to do that today. Spreadsheets, like we go into our tools and we pull out a list, we look at the segments, maybe we start by industry, by vertical, and start there. Then we break down to persona. When you're talking across geographies, devices, who prefer what they're trying to do, the math problem becomes incredibly challenging. So it's not surprising to me by that process and just, go back to doing the best they can with what they have.
Yeah, I hear you. And just to summarize some of the 2 points you've said. So the first one around data consolidation. So there's this report from 451 Research that states that businesses have data across 11 plus repositories. Sorry, that's a tough one for me to say. But that's a lot of data silos. So as you've said, for marketers, they don't have the power to unify that data. So they need to have their IT department, or they need to have their development team to provide them with the consolidated data for them to provide that unified experience. And then you mentioned about, marketers having to look at Excel spreadsheets to create that personalization. And you've talked about ideally going one-to-one, right? That's what we want. That as customers, this is what we expect. But as you've said, it's not Excel spreadsheet that can help us identify someone that is likely to purchase with a high ticket item and that maybe would also not need a promotion and that will also be based in a specific region nearby a store, and they're more likely to shop in store. So we should go and invite them in store to purchase that high value ticket item. So this really requires artificial intelligence. And I think that's where technology can help the marketers. And marketers and technology must work together to deliver that experience that, as you mentioned, customers expect.
Yes. And, I think as marketers, you're starting to see a lot happening in this particular area from a MarTech perspective. And I think we got, sort of got we got warm to the idea when we started looking at things like intent data and account-based marketing. But now there's a whole new generation of AI and machine learning that's coming to market that can really it's the only way to problem actually is through AI and machine learning, and to be able to see the trends, to distill them so that you can have truly within your marketing program to drive your personalization initiative forward, for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. And let's focus on one of our favorite channel. So with regards to emails, as we know, are not dead at all. And when we look at the volumes of email sent, via eMarcis during the last Black Friday, we saw 21% more personalized email sent, compared to the previous year. And it amounted from a single day to 834 millions of promotional email distributed that were all personalized.
Wow.
So this is just to show that people are sending more personalized email, and, every don't understand. But I know you share the same passion for email as I do. So yes. For our audience, how does email fit into the personalization mix?
Email is really the epicenter of your personalization mix, because with email, your subscribers or your customers have opted into your communications. You're not coming into them cold. You into their inbox. And with that opportunity, you have the responsibility and the opportunity to serve them promotions, information, whether you're B2B or a B2C company, on information that's highly, highly relevant. What's fantastic, your email program can tell you so much more about your marketing program, not just your email program. Look at your email insights. That is a treasure trove for your marketing organization. If you're not sitting down with your email insights with your your laundry list of Zoom meetings going forward, because you get great engagement insights. You understand the devices, their email, understand if they're reading it in dark mode. All of these, and you understand what they did with that email after they read it, how much with it. Those insights are gold for other parts of your marketing mix. You could actually take that information and leverage it with your paid media. If something email, there's a very good chance that that insight is relevant across your entire marketing mix. So, I truly believe that email enables you to get so much more from your marketing mix, really, than you ever thought possible.
Thank you so much, Melissa. And I know we have a spare minute, so if you don't mind me asking, what would be your main advice for a business looking to send more personalized email?
Start with your data and start with the customer journey. You need to understand those two things first before you can embark on a personalization journey that will yield results for your business.
Thank you so much. These are really great and valuable insights, and I really hope that we can have you back on the series in the future.
I'd love to. Thank you very much.
Amazing. So thank you for all of us who joined us live today, or for any of you that might be watching the playback. If you have any questions that were not covered in this talk, please comment below and we will get to you. And if you like this episode, please join us for our next live stream on March 25th, same time, different host, different speakers. Thank you.